It is a beautiful day here at the meeting place of heaven and earth. I am sitting at Castle Lake enjoying this beautiful weather and this very cold water. And I wanted to tell you a little bit of the history of our world and to talk about the different bloodlines that I was mentioning before. This is a very interesting topic, of course, under the dome here on the world's stage that we are living. Many different species have been created by our creator. Even right now, we see, humans and cows and pigs and chickens, all these other species that are created by the same creator who created this realm for us. And his creation, throughout it, we see various similarities in different processes in the body, they share DNA, as they say. It is ultimately because our creator used the same building blocks, the same pieces of physical matter to build the same things. It's not that we all came from monkeys or have this common ancestor, whatever evolutionary nonsense that is pushed by the mainstream. So, over time, various species have been created, and when they are first created, like humans are now, center stage, they were once center stage, they were once the focus. This is before humans even existed. We had other species like reptilians, including the dragons, Nakash, like the snakes, and the Jinn, that are beings of smokeless fire. These entities all had their time to be center stage, to be the focus, when the creator originally created them. And over time, as new creations are formed, well, kind of like on Toy Story, where the old toys are put on the shelf, the older species are kind of pushed out of the way and are not the focus anymore, as now humans are the focus. We are the most recent of Yah's creation, and the original humans, like every species pretty much started off as much larger than it is now. Even, the trees, if you've seen the No Force on Flat Earth talking about, I don't know if you can see behind me, Mount Shasta is over there in the distance. Large trees, giant humans, giant plants, giant other species as well. So when humans originally started, they were very large, had the same, 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes, one set of teeth, but there have been skeletal remains and other legends that have been becoming more popular recently as the awakening continues, regarding giants with 6 fingers and 6 toes, or 2 rows of teeth. Monstrous, red-headed, cannibalistic giants that terrorized humans and ate them. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting legends and actual bones and evidence that have been destroyed by the powers that be, because obviously giants don't fit in with the whole idea of evolution. And well, these giants with 6 fingers and 6 toes are not creations of our creator, but they are hybrids. Over time, the human species has been hybridized with various species, but the one that we are mainly focused on today is the interaction that happened a very long time ago when humans were originally created and Yah was unveiling his creation to the rest of his creation, and he basically told everybody to bow down to his new creation of Adam, the human, and Satan, who is a jinn, these beings of smokeless fire that can shapeshift. They can live for pretty much an infinite amount of time. Like, as long as they can survive, they can keep going. As long as the firmament hasn't been, taken away, as long as they have place to go, they can essentially continue to live for a very long time, and they are geniuses. So for these types of beings that are superior in like every way, to bow to a human, it's like, well, God, that being actually isn't more superior to me. So that is where this whole, rivalry essentially comes into play, where these superior beings wouldn't bow to humans. So then Satan and, they say, 1/3 of his buddies came to Earth, and they decided to shapeshift into human form and have relations with human females and get them pregnant. Some of their intent in doing this was to create a better creation, a more intelligent human, a human that was actually worth bowing down to, rather than what they saw as way inferior to them. So some of them wanted to improve upon the design and make it better, and others just, wanted to make monsters, turn humans into clowns. It's not that all of them that did this activity had one single mindset. They have free will, they have their own personalities and desire, their own will, and so that is also a factor. As the story goes, they impregnated human females, and giants were born unto them, and these giants terrorize humans, and it leads into them essentially corrupting all of the other DNA and flooding the surface, and that's where the story of the Great Flood comes into play. These entities that slept with humans, the creation of this new hybrid species was also entering a new bloodline into creation. Before, with only Yah's creation, you have A and B bloodlines and RH positive. But after this interaction, O negative entered into the mix. Now, obviously, many of you watching will have negative bloodlines, and yes, that does mean that you are a hybrid to some extent, but ultimately, it's not your DNA, it's not your blood that defines you. It doesn't matter if you are the most hybrid of everybody. If you have, O null in the most what they would consider pure blood, which is as far away from God's creation as possible, if you choose to do right, if you choose to do good, then that's what defines you. It doesn't matter what blood is coursing through your veins. What matters is the soul inside and what actions that soul chooses to take. The powers that be, or even, dark forces, are going to try to come along and try to tell you what you are, and, whisper in your ear that you have to be evil because it's, your family or in your blood and all this stuff. But just remember my words, that you're not cursed to be evil because of your blood or your DNA. Ultimately, you choose. Every day you make decisions. You can either choose to be good or to be bad. We all have free will, even if you're human or hybrid, okay? So there's no excuse. You're not cursed to do evil. No one is forcing you to do evil. You might be in a position where you feel like you are being forced to do evil, or maybe where they are threatening you with your life, but ultimately you have the choice at the end of the day to stand up and say no, to stand up and do what is right, and to become the best version of yourself possible. So the ball is in your court. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you've been through, or even what you've done. If you choose today to make yourself better, to make better decisions, to be a better person, then that is ultimately what defines you. It is really exciting that we get to live in such a time where all of these truths are coming to light. This history about our world and about the things that have taken place here between different species is very fascinating. I really enjoy learning about this and relaying this information to you, teaching you about it. And if you have any other questions regarding this topic, definitely let me know. I have the Nephilim and other topics Facebook group still, and I've been posting some of the various legends and evidences, so definitely check that out if you're interested in this subject. And like I said, let me know if you have any further questions. I'm gonna go and enjoy this beautiful weather and dip into the water a little bit, so I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you next week.
Don't you know I dream about you, girl? Fantasy girl, you come into my world at nighttime. You come alive.